you for your kind introduction. I also express my sincere thanks to Professor Chun Chang for her invitation. I also worked more than 40 years as a molecular biologist in the Korean Food Research Institute. So I think about the future of our Earth, sometimes the future. So I'd like to talk about the Redox history of Earth, Redox history of Earth and life of organism and food crops. So as soon as I retired, I think about the futures of the next generations many times. So I think we are think about the questions or challenges. So I summarize the large questions and challenges of the future generation. So the first problem is population. Maybe 9 billion by 2050. And second, I think about the global obesity crisis issues because not all were malnourished because of nourished. And thirdly, I think about the quality of life. Quality of life is more important than the technology and sometimes production, so very important in the human. And then we think about the environment and sustainability issues, and sometimes climate changes, and sometimes freshwater issues. So we think about all of the issues as systematically or networking science. So we need the integrated approach to solve this problem, just like the complex biological systems. So I thought about the Earth and sometimes the life. So I just briefly introduce the Redox story of Earth and life. So we are many scientists think about the Earth's history and the evolution of life and agriculture, economic systems, sometimes environment and sustainability for the food and health. So we are from now, we think about these kind of issues for the systems, ecological systems. This figure shows the oxygen level and the oxygen level from the 4.6 billion to 2.5. There's no oxygen in the Earth, and from the 2.5 to the 1.5, there are many high level of oxygens, and then from the 0.5 billion, there is a balancing between the two mechanisms. So this is the oxygen level. So we think about the Earth's history. Earth is far from the sun. The closer is the Venus, Earth, and Mars, and Jupiter, something like that. So we have to know the Earth. The history of Earth is largely based on the redox potential of hydrogen and oxygen. When the Earth broke away on an asteroid 4.5 billion years ago, it was the form of magma sea. So there are no oxygens, there are no waters, only high pressure vapor, water vapor, and carbon dioxide, no oxygen. From the 4.5 to the 3.5, solar delivered hydrogen to the water, so amazingly able water to exist in the solid liquid vapor. So at 3 billion years ago, the high temperature fell down, the water vapor become to water to form an ocean without any oxygen. Maybe in this time, the closer Venus still looks like the magma sea. So at that time, the sea was born in the world, so there are no oxygen, and sea can be as a redox engine, just like the oxidation and reduction. So reduction potential is very low water and carbon dioxide. And in the sea, the life is born. So we think about the evolution of life and human. As the sea was formed, the prokaryotic photosynthetic bacteria, so we call the cyanobacteria, emerged and absorbed the carbon dioxide to make the limestone and the oxygen in 3.5 billion years. This redox potential increased high during 2.5 to 2.2 billion years with the early oxygenation of prokaryotic photosynthetic bacteria, like dramatically large oxygen was born. So that point, redox balance of age 1.5 by that point, more than 90% life is extinguished, and new life is born. So high oxygens, about almost 100% is extinguished. Subsequently, evolution of prokaryotic, eukaryotic by dominating photosynthetic solar-driven and oxygen-based Earth like this, and 1 billion years like this. Thus, about 1.5 billion year, 0.5 billion year, the land plants and land animals appeared in the earth from the sea. As for this extinction, large animals such as dinosaur is extinguished 6.65 million years, that allowed mammals to emerge in dominant photosynthetic and oxygen-rich world. So and then oxygen-rich world to humanoid to hominoids in 1.5 million years, and the Homo sapiens is appeared 250,000 to 60,000 years ago. So why they can balancing, they can harmonize the oxygen reduction balance by plants and animals. So you can see plants can photosynthesize to absorb the carbon dioxide. Animals cannot live without respiration, without oxygen. So glucose and phytochemicals were produced with a high rate without moving, but animals brain or food cannot be obtained without moving. No actions without energy. So they can make the balance between the redox and oxygen. So many life can survive in this earth. So harmonizing reduction potential by plants and animals brought oxygen reduction in ecological systems. So we are thinking about the evolution of plants and animals. In the sea, from prokaryote to eukaryote, and from eukaryote to sea plants about 2.5 and 2 billion years, and from eukaryote to sea animals is about 2 billion to 1.5 billion years. In the land, the sea plants to appear about 1.5 billion years, and sea animals go to the land animals to the 1.5 billion years. So this kind of evolution is what we call the endosymbiosis. So this cyanobacteria to like this go into the eukaryotic cells and then evolve the animals or plants with the mitochondria. This is like mitochondria, and this is the chloroplast. So mechanism of endosymbiosis is very important. Sometimes mitochondria and chloroplast is come about result of early endosymbiosis between prokaryote and the eukaryotic host cells. So usually the step of symbiosis, 3 steps, primary and secondary, of merge and divided and merge and divided. So sometimes the tertiary endosymbiosis. So we can say redox biology, redox-linked cellular biology, we can draw the evolution of the life from the protozoa, fungi, animals, plants, so like this. So from primitive and aerobic eukaryote and ancestral prokaryote. So this is a time of almost 3 billion years. So it evolved. So we have to think about the oxidation reduction stage. Oxidation reduction stage is very important in the Earth, all of the life. So about 10,000 years ago, Homo sapiens moved to the continent from the Africa, just like this. So this is the Chinese origin. This is the Korean origin. So Korean origin and Chinese origin is quite different. Chinese origin moved to this area under the Cheongshan Mountains, and this Korean peoples moved from the Ural Altai and the Amur River. So it's quite different culture and quite different food. So about 100 years ago, Homo sapiens moved to the continent from the Africa, receding over last ice age to 20,000 years ago to now, formation of early Neolithic 10,000 years ago, and then organized civilization in Eurasia and to the America and to Africa, and 4,000 and 5,000 years ago, leading to agriculture, domestication, and crops and animals. Billion years, all plants and animals evolved according to the climate of each continent and region. And then around 10,000 years, agriculture develops according to this environment system, not technology transfer, only for the land condition, only for the agriculture condition. So agriculture civilization is so called. European merchant civilization, 500 mass global exchange of crops and animals to diversification. Yes. So we need to as a food scientist, we can need a guess through geography. So how did we get from these plants and animals? So as a food scientist, I reviewed my food science history. So in Korea, and maybe Chinese is the same, maybe America is also the same. So I think about we have the success in the analytical studies, but in failure in the combinatorial systems in the food sciences. So we have the many effort to find the component and to find the mechanism, to find some functional properties, functional compound, and to study the physical, chemical, and health function of the food component. And sometimes we have the many papers, many report health function in biology and nutrigenomics. So for my case, more than 200 papers focus on this area. But I think that my research is not success, some failure. So in Korea, we don't have large papers, large technology, just like lack of research impact on the agriculture and the industrial on our global environment, climate change, and sustainability. And failure of synthetic research on the connection of food and agriculture, something that is very important. Rural connection is very important, but only we are focused on the capital. So local research is very low, and lack of research of phytochemicals occurred during the growth and how functional substances appear and play the role in the food during just like the fermentation. So we think about it systematically. So how are we addressing these flaws? So challenging concepts. So we have to think about the based on redox linked metabolic biology and based on the global and local changes, and sometimes we have to climate resilience, just like the human health resilience. So we have to think about the climate resilience for the crop security and health. So we have to design the food and human response, and just like with the microbiome for the fermentation. And we think about the redox-linked metabolic biology, as you know well. So the nutrigenomics and metabolomics is relevant for the food crops, for the health. Just like this, some redox potential is very correlated with mitochondria signaling, gene regulation, epigenetics, proteostasis, and circadian rhythm. So we built the food study and this kind of soil biology, just he presented, and health system platforms, and plant and animal microbiome system, and human and ecosystem, and human microbiome interaction. So I draw this kind of the figures of the reduction ecological system of food. So there is a global warming and ozone environment, and another environment effect 4, effect 3 from eukaryotic food cellular system, for the food system, from the macronutrients, micronutrients, and the phytochemicals, and the microbial system, and the global warming system, and the energy. That's like we think about the economic systems and sustainability in the future, and resilience. Resilience is very important to recover the soil, to recover the health, human health, just like it's very important. So last, I'd like to think about human health by chemicals, or just like antioxidants, and systemic biological, and human microbial, and ecological. So everybody knows phytochemical as embodied antioxidants. So many papers, many works it is in this statement. So less than 1 minute. So I would like to briefly introduce so this combinatorial profiles from food crops is very important, and the mechanism is based on the antioxidant. We live in an oxygen paradox where we need the oxygen for key metabolic process, and yes, some forms of superoxide oxygen is related to free radicals. That is very important. High calorie diet more dangerous. And phytochemicals in the food, so maybe you know the oxidative stress is very low. So phytochemicals is involved in the growth and maintaining and resilience and defense mechanism and colors, taste, and flavors is the food area. So oxygen is main and threatening factor, just like the antioxidant. So we see antioxidant is very important field for studying. So I'd like to briefly, just like the mechanism, radical scavenging, enzymatic redox regulation, redox regulation, and antimicrobial. So this is the antioxidant, just like the oxygen level. Why phenolic antioxidant? Maybe you know very better than me. Maybe so. So I just say defense mechanism for oxygen, UV ray, chemical is the main factor for existence of phenolic or phytochemicals. And role of the ferment combinated profile, this is the same as we protest. And secondly, we think about the human and the other animals' overall health. So I'd like to introduce the microgut or microbiome. So this is related to cognitive health and immunity, probiotic, many things. So we have to think about, we have to study systematically to the correlation and the connection and the communication of life. And I draw this kind of the ecological system for the diversity. Diversity is very important in the future for ecosystem, agriculture and food system, health and resilience, and community nutrition, and just like say the microbial diversity and food crop diversity, very important. And lastly, I'd like to introduce the ecological and environmental impact, soil health, he presented, and food system, and human health. So philosphere, we think of the soil health, philosphere or rhizosphere, so soil health, and is very close to food chain, and food chain is very close to the human health, and human health is very close to the human and microbiome, and physical and cognitive health. So this is the last slide. So in conclusion, we have to prepare the futures by combinatorially studying the whole systems, human health system, soil system, food system, environmental system, and all system based on the overall reduction ecology system. We can do this kind of work, this kind of system work with the help of AI. AI can communicate and connect these kind of systems very closely and very exactly and very precisely. We can do this kind of work in the future. Thank you.